to the unknown. There's no doubt, so no regret. Happy before we get another day to do it all again. Oh, we're throwing open all the curtains wide. Oh, not gonna miss a thing. Oh, nothing's promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take. So live well, be bold, be brave. In the sun, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Oh, red in the sun, all of the best yet to come. Oh, red in the sun, don't know what you got till it's gone. Oh, red in the sun, all of the best yet to come. We're throwing open all the curtains wide. Not gonna miss a thing. Nothing's promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take. So live well, be bold, be brave.
Room. I thank you for being here. It is 3:03 on October 15th. We're halfway through the month of October already. Can you believe that? All right, I am Nancy, and I am here to spend the afternoon with you. Okay, so yeah, okay, anyway. Somebody looked you up on classmates.com. I don't care. I don't go on there because every time I go on classmates.com, it tells me I have to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. So, all right. I had the sage burning. I'm almost out. Look, I only have a few left. I have to get some more. I'll go steal the ones I've got down in my husband's office. He won't be home for 2 more weeks. A week and a half. All right. So anyway, I learned of a new, it's not a new case. Hi, H. Davis. How you doing? Thank you for that poem you sent me today. That was just beautiful. I was trying to find it on my Apple phone to be able to read it, but somehow it got gone. So, yeah, I don't know what I did with it. I know it's on my Android phone, but I'm using that to be able to see my conversation. No, I don't want it. Download videos? Jeez Louise. Okay, so anyway. That interview was last month. That's great. Oh, last week. Okay. So, up front, I was supposed to have a meeting with the orthopedic doctor. Hey, Amanda Panda, did you get a day off? I was supposed to have a meeting with the orthopedic doctor Friday morning at 8:10, but they called me this afternoon and they want me to come in tomorrow morning. I got to be there at 8:10. And they're going to do a MRI or CT scan or something on my shoulder to see if they can find out what's going on. Because it still feels like it's on fire right here. And to reach this far, I mean, just to my desk hurts. To get my arm out like that, it hurts. And it's like I can go up like this, but I can't go up like this. And I can't get my arm behind my back. Like this one, I can go all the way back and come up and touch my shoulder. This one, I can't even get it back behind my back. So there's definitely something wrong up there. And it's on fire right here. And there's a knot right here. They said it's not broken. The x-rays say it's not broken, but they say there's some sort of a calcification back in here. They don't know if it's a bone spur or arthritis or what it is, but they're not, from the x-rays, they weren't able to see any fractures. So I don't know. We'll know more when they do more testing. Okay, so anyway, you'd think I never slept unless I get in front of my computer. So anyway, I'm about to burn it. I've been having a hot flash all day long. Okay. So, the case I found today is about Christa Pike. The case actually happened in 1995, but they just set the ending date for her. I'll put it that way. Let's get into it. I'm going to pull it up on Grok. Okay, I can't make this any bigger. Wait, maybe I can. Okay, can you see that better? Okay, it says Christa Pike, a brutal red rummer and looming execution. The case of Christa Gale Pike is one of the most notorious in modern U.S. true crime, blending teenage jealousy, occult fascination, and extreme violence. At just 18, Pike orchestrated the torture and red rum of her 19-year-old classmate, Colleen Slimmer, in a crime that shocked Knoxville, Tennessee in 1995, now 49 and the only woman on the Tennessee's death row. Pike's story has resurfaced with her execution date set for September 30th, 2026, potentially making her the first woman executed in the state in over 200 years. Now, that's the first woman in Tennessee, not in the United States, just in Tennessee in 200 years. As of October 15th, which is today. Appeals and clemency efforts are intensifying, fueled by debates over youth mental health and evolving standards of justice. Here's a breakdown of the case, its developments, and why it's worth following now. The crime, jealousy-fueled horror. In late 1994, Pike enrolled in the Knoxville Job Corps, a federal program for at-risk youth. She quickly began dating 17-year-old Tadrell Shipp, and the pair developed an interest in the occult and devil worship. I didn't know you could do that in Job Corps. I thought Job Corps was some kind of a religious thing to help you get set straight and whatever. Okay, Pike, who had a chaotic childhood marked by neglect, seizures, seizures, um, as a toddler, frequent school changes, and possible undiagnosed mental health issues, became fixated on 19-year-old Colleen Slimmer, a fellow student she accused without evidence of trying to steal Ship, which was her boyfriend. The Red Rum. On January 12, 1995, Pike, Ship, and their friend Shadola Peterson lured Slimmer to a wooded area on the University of Tennessee's agricultural campus under the pretense of reconciliation. What followed was 30 minutes of sadistic torture. Slimmer was beaten with a fist and a rock, stabbed over 300 times, mostly superficially. Hold, please. I'm back. That was somebody wanting me to get on Medicare. Okay, so uh, stabbed over 300 times, mostly superficially, kicked, stripped, and had a pentagram carved into her chest with a box cutter. Pike then bashed her skull in with a chunk of asphalt, severing her carotid artery. As a grotesque trophy, Pike kept a piece of Schlemmer's skull, which she later showed off while dancing around with it, per eyewitness account. Whoa. This girl was sick in the head. Peterson, who acted as lookout turned informant, Pike bragged about the unaliving, telling cellmates that it was a satanic ritual tied to jealousy. Schlemmer's body was found the next day. Pike was arrested soon after. The trial and sentencing. Pike was tried in 1996 at the age of 20. Prosecutors portrayed her as the ringleader driven by rage and occult delusions. She was convicted of first-degree red rum and conspiracy, receiving the unalived penalty, the youngest woman ever sentenced to be unalived in the U.S. at the time. Ship got life without parole. Peterson received probation for her testimony. Additional penalty in 2004. Pike was convicted of trying to strangle fellow inmate, adding 25 years to her sentence. Now she's already got DP. Why is she going to be 25 years longer than that? Key developments and why follow now, October 2025. Pike's case has dragged through decades of appeals, highlighting systemic issues like solitary confinement, juvenile brain science, and gender bias in sentencing. Here's the timeline of recent twists. In 1995, Red Rum and arrest. Pike, 18, skills unalived Slimmer in brutal attack, arrest days later. 1996, sentencing. DP imposed, youngest U.S. woman on DR. 2004, prison assault conviction. Added 25 years for attempted strangulation of inmate. 2023, motion denied. Bid to reopen case based on youth and mental health rejected. 2024, solitary ends. Pike settles lawsuits, gains group privileges after 28 years in isolation at Tennessee Prison for Women. September 12, 2024, Supreme Court ruling. Tennessee Supreme Court declines to hear challenges on unalive sentence, youth at time of crime, childhood abuse. September 30, 2025, execution schedule. The D warrant issued for September 30th, 2026, first woman in Tennessee since 1820, if carried out. October 2025, ongoing clemency push. Attorneys cite undiagnosed PTSD, bipolar disorders, brain damage, and abuse. Note, she'd likely get life today, not the DP. Petition for mercy has 25,000 plus signatures. Victim's mother, May Martinez, supports execution. Ship's first parole hearing delayed. May outlast Pike. Current status. Governor Bill Lee won't review clemency until closer to the date, but public pressure is building amid a national rise in executions, 34 in 2025 so far. Pike's team argues her lesser blameworthiness due to being under 21, echoing Supreme Court precedents like Roper versus Simons, plus trauma from a neglectful home. A 2025 DP Information Center study notes most women on DR 48 nationwide faced gender-based violence with bias in trials. Why today? With 1 year mark approaching, discussions are spiking on mental health defenses and execution ethics, e.g., lethal injection safety in Tennessee. It's a stark contrast to lighter true crime fare, raw, unresolved, and politically charged. Okay, and that just tells you where to dive deeper. Psychological profile of Christa Pike. Constructing a psychological profile of Christa Pike, who at 18 orchestrated the brutal 1995 Red Run of Colleen Schlemmer, involves piecing together her background, documented behaviors, and expert analysis from one of Church's fleas jumped on my arm. Okay. From court records and media. As the only woman on Tennessee's D row facing execution on September 30, 2026, Pike's case has drawn scrutiny for its psychological complexity, blending trauma, personality disorders, and youthful impulsivity. Below, I synthesize available data on a profile focusing on her developmental history, mental health, motivations, and behavioral patterns, while avoiding speculation beyond what's supported. Development and background factors. Early life trauma. Pike was born March 10, 1976 in West Virginia to Glenn Pike and Chrissa Hansen, who split when she was young. Her childhood was chaotic. Her mother was neglectful, and her father was largely absent. She faced physical and emotional abuse, with reports of being passed around among relatives. She experienced seizures as toddlers, potentially linked to neurological issues, though no formal diagnosis, e.g. epilepsy, was confirmed. Early medical neglect may have exacerbated vulnerabilities. Frequent school changes. She attended 12 by grade 18. Disrupted social bonds, fostering instability. She dropped out in ninth grade, later joining the Knoxville Job Corps, where the Red Rum occurred. Attachment issues. Pike's unstable caregiving likely impaired secure attachment, a risk factor for emotional dysregulation, poor impulse control. Her intense fixation on boyfriend Tadrell Shipp suggests a desperate need for validation, common in those with early abandonment. Mental health diagnosis. Court reported conditions. During appeals, Pike's defense cited undiagnosed mental health issues at the time of the crime, including possible bipolar disorder, PTSD from childhood abuse, and borderline personality traits. A 2023 motion highlighted potential brain damage from seizures or trauma, though no definitive neurological scans were presented. Now, PTSD from childhood abuse. Okay, her mom was rarely there. She was in and out. Her dad was basically not there. So did she get childhood abuse in foster care? It doesn't say. Okay. Behavioral indicators. Impulsivity. Right. Seem independent? It doesn't make sense, does it? Impulsivity and emotional dysregulation. Pike's rapid escalation from jealousy to orchestrating a sadistic red rum points to poor emotional control, consistent with borderline personality disorder traits like intense relationships and fear of abandonment. I can understand fear of abandonment with both of her parents pretty much leaving her at birth or shortly thereafter. Her obsession with Shipp, believing without evidence Schlimmer was a romantic rival, fueled the crime. Narcissistic traits. How many of us know about that? Bragging about the red rum and keeping Schlimmer's skull fragment as a trophy suggests grandiose self-perception and a need for dominance, aligning with narcissistic or antisocial personality disorder features. Her later prison assault attempted strangulation in 2004 reinforces a pattern of aggression. Occult fascination. Pike and Shipp's interest in devil worship and carving a pentagram on Schlimmer's chest may reflect a search for identity or power. Amanda Panda says, I'm just blown away. Like, what if everyone who went through that crap did stuff like that? Exactly. I mean, okay, you were taken away from me when you were 3 through my mother in a roundabout way. Okay. And your father was gone before you were even born. So do you have PTSD or do you have abandonment issues? If you do, I'm very sorry. I never wanted to be out of your life. And I love you and I'll never leave you again as long as I'm alive. Sorry, I'm trying to make light of the situation. We can't help what's in the past. We can only help what we can do from the going forward. Okay. Okay. Carving a pentagram on Schlimmer's chest may reflect a search for identity or power, common in adolescents with low self-esteem rather than deep ideological commitment. Youth brain development. No, you are not out there deleting people, and I'm very thankful of that. Youthful brain development. Pike was 18, and I can say that you aren't even attempting it, and you aren't even considering it. So, yeah, you're a good person, a very good person. Okay. Hello. Supper's on the table. Come down here. Amanda, look at this haircut. He cut his hair himself right here. Come up closer to the camera. H. Davis, I'm proud that you're not. Look at it. He shaved his hair right here, left this part growing, and shaved it on the side.
So,
Oh, gosh, you're sweaty.
well, I just got back from bike riding to the eye doctor. And
Your glasses look really good.
yeah.
I like them. He got new glasses, by the way.
Yeah, after I got sniped in the head.
Okay, supper's on the table.
All right.
Y'all match. Actually, his are blue. Okay. Youthful brain development. Mine are metal and his are plastic. Pike was 18 at the time of the crime, a period when the prefrontal cortex governing impulse control and long-term planning is underdeveloped. Appeals cites Roper versus Simmons 2005, which bans executing juveniles, arguing her age and trauma reduced culpability. Okay. No, actually, H. Davis, I do like when he comes in when I'm live because he's going to eat his supper. He's going to change his clothes. He's going to head back out to go to work, and I won't see him until around 9:30. So that's the only time I get to see him before he goes from when he goes to school in the morning till he gets home to take a shower at night. I never get to see him anymore. I shouldn't have let him turn 18. That's just that. I shouldn't have let him turn 18. He's my youngest and he's growing up. Okay. Motivations and crime dynamics. Jealousy and catalysts as catalyst. Pike's primary motive was irrational jealousy over shit. Oh yeah, what I was going to say up here about the reduced culpability. Okay. Yes, she was 18 when she committed the crime. Or late 17, early 18, or whatever when she committed the crime. But he's 18. Amanda Panda has one about to be 18. I've got a friend in Hutchinson who's got a son about to be 18. I have a friend in Missouri who has a son about to be 18. Okay, all four of those kids have grown up in different ways. They had different forms of lifestyles. And not a single one of them, out of the four, not a single one of them is wanting to in any way plan a red room. And some of them didn't have the best upbringing. Some of them were the lifestyles that they had were beyond their parents' control. We'll put it that way. So they had a different than normal life. Actually, one of the four that I just mentioned is the only one still with his biological mother and father because life worked out a different way. But that all four of those kids are very good kids. I wouldn't have a problem, aside from the fact one of them's female. 3 of them are boys and one's a girl. But I wouldn't have any problem leaving all 4 of those kids alone in my house when I had to leave and go somewhere. I would not have a problem with it. Because they're all good kids. They all show respect. And that's the important thing. They're all respectful. Okay. Jealousy as catalyst. Pike's primary motive was irrational jealousy over Ship, whom she believed Schlimmer was pursuing. This aligns with borderline BPD, borderline personality disorders, intense fear of abandonment amplified by her unstable self-image, sadistic control, the torture, 300 plus superficial stabs, prolonged suffering, suggests a need to exert power, possibly compensating for childhood helplessness. Her leadership in the group attack with Ship and Peterson indicates manipulative tendencies, a hallmark of ASPD, associated personality disorder. Group influence. Pike's dominance over Ship and Peterson, who were less culpable, points to charismatic yet coercive personality. Her ability to rally them suggests social manipulation skills despite her own insecurities. Okay. It didn't really say the 3 kids, one of them, the girl, was the lookout. Was her boyfriend? Did he hold her down? Is that his part? If she did the act? I don't understand. But I mean, well, it's I don't know. Post-crime behavior, lack of remorse. Pike's initial boasting, showing the skull fragment, calling the red rum a ritual, reflects a lack of empathy. Okay, that is a sign of autism. That's a sign of autism. That's an autistic trait. Okay? Reflects a lack of empathy consistent with ASPD. However, recent clemency pleas claim she's shown remorse in therapy, though specifics are sparse. Yep, there he goes. He's leaving. After 28 years in solidarity confinement, ended 2004 via lawsuit settlement, Pike reportedly engaged in therapy, suggesting some self-reflection. Yet her 2004 assault indicates persistent aggression, complicating rehabilitation claims. Psychological profile, some core traits. Pike likely exhibits a mix of borderline and antisocial personality disorders, features marked by emotional volatility, impulsivity, low empathy, manipulative behavior, narcissistic tendency, grandiose trophy keeping are evident but secondary. Influencing factors, childhood trauma, abuse, neglect, instability, and possible neurological issues, seizures, shaped her volatility. Her youth, 18, impaired impulse controls, exacerbated by an unstable environment at Job Corps. I thought everything was supposed to be stable at Job Corps. You go in, you have, it's like like summer camp, you have to do things in a certain way, and you have to do the same things every day. And I don't know. I've never been in Job Corps. I've known somebody that was in Job Corps. Motivational drivers: jealousy, need for control, and identity seeking via occultism drove the crime, amplified by group dynamics and her sway over peers. Current state, 2025. At 49, Pike's clemency bid emphasizes trauma and mental health treatment, but her violent prison history and victims' family opposition, e.g. May Martinez, complicate narratives of change. Why it matters now. As Pike's execution looms, her profile fuels debates on youth sentencing, mental health in prisons, and gender bias. Women on death row often face harsher judgment for defying feminine norms. X posts on hashtag Christa Pike. I'm sorry, my nose is itching like someone will kiss a fool or something. Active as an October 2025, split between those horrified by her cruelty and others arguing her trauma warrants mercy. Her case echoes others like Aline Wuornos, where abuse and personality disorders collide. And this tells you where to further explore it. All right. I think this next one's a video. And this is from Courtroom Consequences. I've never heard of them, but I'm going to give them a thumbs up because I've listened to part of this. All right.
This is 19-year-old Christa Pike, seen here in a Tennessee court. Pike is facing charges for murder. Pike's madness started in January 1995 when she lured 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer out of her dormitory and into the woods. Pike was jealous of Slemmer and erroneously thought that she wanted to steal her boyfriend.
Thousands of women are raving about this needle-free filler that erases sagging mouth corners.
For this, Pike corroborated with her boyfriend, 17-year-old Tataril Ship, and her friend, 18-year-old Shadola Peterson. Together, she and her boyfriend assaulted and tortured Slemmer, while Peterson acted as a lookout. Not satisfied with the assault, Pike took an asphalt and hit Slemmer until she stopped breathing.
An autopsy confirmed she was slashed repeatedly with a meat cleaver and some other small cutting device, perhaps a razor blade or box opener. Authorities say she was then beaten over the head with a large chunk of asphalt from this pile.
She and her boyfriend then took turns carving a pentagram across her chest.
She had a massive circle with a star, upside down star called pentagram. And if you don't know what pentagram, that's the upside down star in a circle, and it represents the goat head of Satan.
At first, I thought they just were scared at first from the jump. That's what I thought. But we got up there, everything changed.
There was a picture that was cut on her chest. Who did that?
I didn't have that.
All right, don't tell me what it was.
It was satanic stuff.
She then took a piece of her skull as a trophy.
She had a piece of the skull wrapped up in a napkin in her coat pocket. That's a trophy. It showed that that piece she had fit exactly as a piece of puzzle in the skull.
The group then went back to their dormitory, but the next day, her body was found and police swarmed the area. Following investigations, the teenagers were arrested. With everyone panicking about the murder and the pentagram on Slemmer, the police had to address the media.
It did not involve a university student. It did not occur on the bike trail. It was not a random or a stranger-to-stranger incident. The motive of the crime appears to be a love triangle. It appears that both of the females involved had been involved with the 17-year-old male.
But it wasn't a love triangle. Slemmer was not interested in Pike's boyfriend. According to reports, Pike was just jealous. She readily admitted to luring Slemmer out to deal with her.
I wanted to get her off campus and I had every intention of fighting her.
She revealed more grisly details of the crime.
You know, it's harder to hurt somebody when they're talking to you and you have to see another person. Right. And I sort of shut up to hit her and she was still breathing. I said, Colleen, do you know who's doing this to you? And she was just going on.
Hey, here's the truth about the Social Security Disability Program.
You can receive up to $3,600.
Just talking like that, but I don't know what to say.
During her trial, the defense pointed out that she had a rough and abusive childhood, and that must have influenced her actions. But Pike herself noted that she knew what she was doing.
I knew exactly what I was doing. Everything that I did that night, I knew what I was doing. And I think I was taking things out on her that had happened to me years ago.
In the end, Pike was found guilty on all counts and handed the death penalty.
It is therefore ordered that you shall be put to death by electrocution in the mode prescribed by law. That you shall be transferred to the custody of the warden at the Tennessee Prison for Women. And further, on the 12th day of January 1997, your body shall be subjected to shock by sufficient current of electricity. May God have mercy upon you.
She couldn't stop her tears after she left the court.
Can I please have my mom before I go?
Mr. Bailey, please hold Miss Pike in the dock.
Please, let me just have my mom.
Please hold
I love you.
Pike's boyfriend, the man she supposedly went through all this for, was sentenced to a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Peterson was handed a 6-year probation. Pike is still on death row.
Christa Pike has tried on 3 separate occasions on both state and federal levels to get off of death row, but they've all failed. That's not stopping her and her legal team from giving it another try. Colleen's family says more than 25 years later, they're still looking for closure.
Just when you thought you'd seen it all, another convict surpasses Christa Pike's wild behavior. Enter 23-year-old Pedro Espinoza, who's in a California court on murder charges.
He needs the biggest punishment they can get is the death penalty, and from that day on, he can rot in hell. Thank you.
In March 2008, 17-year-old Jamil Shah was fatally shot by Pedro Espinoza, a member of the 18th Street Gang.
Well, when we go kill you, we're gonna send a couple of guys down there to really make a mess of you. The execution style is a really beautiful way to do it, because that sends out a message.
The shooting occurred after Espinoza saw Shaw walking home carrying a red bag and mistakenly assumed he was a rival gang member. To make matters worse, Espinoza was only just released from prison. In an emotional interview, Shaw's father recounted the tragic events that led to his son's death.
He was on the phone talking to his girlfriend as he was walking down the street, and she heard the guy walked up to him and they asked him, what set you from, or like, what gang you from? He didn't answer, and they shot him. He's not a gangbanger. He doesn't gangbang, he doesn't do none of that.
Espinoza was subsequently arrested. In court, his cousin Javier testified about his activities.
When you talked to the police, did you tell them, in fact, that Pedro talked to you that night, March the 2nd, about a football player that was killed, as shown on the news? So, in fact, did you tell the detectives that Pedro...
Okay, this is just going to go through a bunch more people that have young people who've done the same stupid stuff. Okay. Turn this off. Okay. So, then we're going to go, the last thing we're going to do, I'm not doing a 3-hour video tonight like I did last night. Oh my gosh. And yesterday, the day before that, it was 2.5 hours. Okay. Okay, on creepy.org, it says Christa Pike is scheduled to be executed on September 30, 2026, making her the first woman in Tennessee set for execution in over 200 years. In 1995, Pike and her boyfriend lured female classmate to a wooded area, tortured her for about 30 minutes, carved a pentagram into her chest, and unalived her. Pike kept a fragment of the victim's skull as a trophy. 170 people have replayed this. 1.6 thousand people have loved it, and 159 people have commented on it. Geopolitica, men and women are equal. U.S. state executed women for the first time in 200 years. Christa Gale Pike, 49-year-old, was convicted of the brutal red rum of Colleen Schlimmer in 1995 and will be the first woman executed in Tennessee since 1820. At 18 years old, she took the victim to a forest along with her boyfriend and another accomplice. There she tortured her, carved a pentagram into her, and crushed her skull, keeping a fragment as a trophy, which she even showed in class. Her execution is scheduled for September 2026. There's more. Yeah, she does look amazing for 50 years old. She's beautiful. The state Supreme Court scheduled the death of Christa Gale Pike, convicted of the brutal 1995 red rum of 19-year-old Colleen Schlimmer, for September 30, 2026. If the execution goes ahead, looks like the first woman executed in Tennessee since 1820. It wasn't always good to her. Christa Pike was the youngest woman to receive the DP at age 18 in 1995 for the brutal red rum of Colleen Schlimmer. Actually, she received the sentence when she was 20 because it took them 2 years to get her into court.
Piece of her skull as a souvenir. Pike was sentenced to death and spared. Christa Pike was the youngest woman to receive the death penalty at age 18 in 1995. Now, nearly 30 years later, she is pleading for her life to be spared. On January 13, 1995, Pike, along with 2 others, lured 19-year-old Colleen Schlimmer to a secluded area of the University of Tennessee's Knoxville campus. Schlimmer was beaten and tortured. They cut her with a box cutter and carved a pentagram into her chest. Pike struck Schlimmer in the head with a piece of asphalt and kept a piece of her skull as a souvenir. Pike was sentenced to death and became the youngest woman on death row. Lawyers for Pike filed a motion on Wednesday asking the court to reconsider her death sentence, citing a 2022 state Supreme Court decision that said mandatory life sentences for juveniles and homicide cases are unconstitutional. Schlimmer's mother is fighting to make sure that doesn't happen.
Now I'm fighting for justice. I want her either executed where she never can hurt another person or be alive and get things that she's not supposed to get. And she went through hell, you know? She was tortured for 45 minutes, back and forth, racing, getting up, trying to fight. She kept telling her, let me go back to Florida. I will not tell anybody. They knock her down and cut her again. It ain't over with until Christy's not alive yet.
That was her own mother. I'm sorry, I don't care what my kids do. I'm going to be their support. If my child was to receive life in prison for any action, at least I'd be able to talk to them on the phone. I would be able to go to the prison and visit my child. To have my child alive and be able to have contact with my child, that's what I would want. I would not want to sentence one of my children to being unalived, no matter what they did. This says, Rosamund Pike back on Graham Norton Friday, but I don't know if anything can top the story of her dating a random fan because of, oh, this doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, so we're off on. Okay, WBCT Channel 9. The Tennessee Supreme Court has set the execution date. And it keeps going back to when she was 18. She's very beautiful. She's what? 1, 2, 3, about 5'3.5". Look at all that beautiful curly hair. My goodness.
Gary Sutton. Now, next year, the state is set to take the lives of the people on your screen. Gary Sutton, Tony Carruthers, Anthony Hines, and Christa Pike. Pike is the only woman on death row in Tennessee, behind bars now for almost 3 decades.
10 News anchor Shay Smith joining us now. And Shay, her execution would mark the first time Tennessee has put a woman to death in more than 200 years.
That's right, John and Robin. Christa Pike is scheduled to be put to death by the state next September. Pike was sentenced to death in 1996 for the 1995 killing of Colleen Slemmer Pike.
Now, she was sentenced to death by electrocution. But earlier in the report, when we first started reading, they were talking about the injection. So I don't know which way it's going to happen. I guess we have to wait till the upcoming time to find out.
Pike and her boyfriend, Tadaryl Shipp, were both convicted of Slemmer's murder after Slemmer was tortured, mutilated, and killed. But it has taken almost 30 years for a death date to be set for Pike.
Now, next year, the state is set to take the lives of the people on your screen. Gary Sutton, Tony.
Sorry, I don't know anybody in Garden Plains, Kansas. Okay, so we've watched all of the what do you think of her? Oh, the unalived girl's mom. Okay, I'm sorry. My mistake. I'm sorry. I thought that was Krista's mom, but that was the other girl, Miss Schepler's mom. Okay, so thank you for correcting that. So, all right. So I'm not going to be here tomorrow because at 10 after 8, I have to be in Andover to get my shoulder checked. Then I have to go to Hutchinson for the day. And then Friday, I have to go back to Hutchinson for the day because Henry's husband has to come to Winfield both days. And she is completely out of her cast. She has a boot now, and she has to walk with a walker, but she is able to put light weight on her leg. And she's taking physical therapy, and she's having problems with her knee. So she's going to try to have her knee checked out because her knee's been hurting her ever since this started. They never x-rayed her knee. They only x-rayed her foot because they could tell instantly when she went in that there was something wrong with her foot. But she's thinking she might have, when she fell on her knee, she might have hurt her knee. So, but anyway, so that's, I won't be back till Monday. Sorry. But if there's any stories you'd like me to cover, please put a comment down in the bottom and I can research over the weekend the stories. I got some new, if I could pull them up. Got some new listens too. I'm not going to show you the videos because they're not my videos, but I can listen to it. Okay, turn that down. That was loud. Where'd it go?
You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're grade A, number 1, qualified first class.
That's my thoughts on Chris Proudfoot. I have more. Let me see if I can go in here. Okay, you've got to see this one. Hold on, let me pull this up. I don't know if you can see it.
You alright? You okay? You okay? Hey! Oh! Dame tu cosita, dame tu cosita, ay.
That was funny. Okay, next one.
No, do you hear me? I'm crazy, I'm tired. I worked hard at school. Okay?
Alright, so what?
No, do you hear me? I'm crazy, I'm tired. I worked hard at school. Okay?
Yeah, she found all the
So
chocolate.
what? You don't want me to mess with you tonight?
No, I'm crazy, I'm tired. I worked hard at school. What's
You're not going to wrestle here in a little bit?
Well, maybe.
Oh.
But I stop getting crazy and tired.
I'm cranky, I'm tired, and I worked hard at school. Don't mess with me.
No, do you hear me? I'm crazy, I'm tired. I worked hard.
I have to turn this one up.
Don't do it, no, man. Fucking cold. Don't do it, no, man. Fucking no, man.
What?
Burger.
No, it's not a burger. Don't call it that.
Come on. Did I bring him into your house?
No, you gotta leave him in here.
No, you're gonna cook him. I can't go to bed. I'm scared.
What are you scared of?
Scared back broccoli.
Scared of broccoli.
Martin Luther King Jr. What'd he do?
He died for things. No, that was... I want to be president.
What's mommy's name?
Mommy.
What's daddy's name?
Cheese.
I can't say cheese and bacon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lettuce.
Lettuce. What'd you make?
See you next time. On the back time. See you next time. Daddy.
What is it?
Daddy. Did you understand me? That's not funny. Mom, that's not really funny. Mama, do you understand me?
Yes.
Hey, that was very nice. That was very nice. Can we do it to you? Fuck off. Okay. Fuck off.
Excuse me?
Fuck off.
Excuse me.
Fuck off.
Who's on this candle?
Dumbledore.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
No,
she don't.
I'm
gonna put that in the... Ooh! You ain't sorry.
I just thought they were funny. I had to share. Sorry. I just knew it wasn't going to be black. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason they smile today. And I'll see you Monday. Search for crime.